Okay, let's unpack this. Have you ever stopped to think about the massive global market behind something as seemingly simple as getting your car clean? I mean, we often take these everyday services for granted, right? But they're part of truly enormous industries. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the global car wash market. Our source material for this fascinating exploration comes from an excerpt from the Global Car Wash Market Forecast to 2033. That's by Cognitive Market Research. And our mission? Well, it's to extract the most important nuggets of knowledge and insight from this report, basically giving you a shortcut to being well-informed about this often overlooked, yet surprisingly dynamic industry.
Yeah, it's a great topic. And it's not just about cleaning cars, is it? It's really a prime example of this chore economy shift, you could call it, where consumers are increasingly outsourcing tasks just to reclaim precious time.
Right.
It really highlights how everyday nuisances, things we don't want to do, can actually transform into multi-billion-dollar service opportunities. It's far more complex and financially robust than it might seem just, on the surface.
Yeah. So let's start by defining the playing field then. What exactly is the car wash market, as covered in this report? It seems to include a pretty wide range of services, all designed to clean and maintain vehicles inside and out.
Exactly. You're talking everything from, say, the lightning-fast automatic in-bay systems.
Where you drive in and the machine goes around you.
Yeah, that's the one. Or the longer tunnel washes where your car gets pulled through different cleaning stations.
Uh-huh.
And then, of course, you've got the more personalized options, hand washes, detailing services for the interior and exterior, that kind of thing.
Okay, so pretty broad spectrum, but what exactly is driving this market forward? What are the key drivers? Here's where it gets really interesting.
Well, the report points to several main factors, and they really paint a picture of why this market is, well, booming. First, there's the pretty obvious trend of growing vehicle ownership worldwide. More cars just means more demand for cleaning, fundamentally.
Sure, makes sense.
Second, and this is huge, consumer demand for convenience. People are just busier, aren't they?
Definitely.
They value the time saved by a professional service compared to, spending their Saturday afternoon with a bucket and sponge.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
And this ties into the general rise in professional automotive services overall. Beyond that, there's also a growing awareness, maybe a preference, for water-efficient car wash systems.
About the eco angle.
Right, and the increasing use of eco-friendly detergents. That appeals to environmentally conscious consumers. So all these things together are kind of fundamental shifts, making professional car washes not just an option, but often the preferred choice for a lot of people.
It really does paint that picture, yeah. Car care moving from, like you said, a weekend chore to a professional service. So with that fundamental shift in mind, how big are we talking globally? Because when I saw these figures from cognitive market research, the sheer scale,
Hmm.
it was really quite mind-boggling.
Oh, absolutely. The numbers are impressive. The global car wash market was valued at over $16.7 billion in 2021.
16.7 billion. Wow.
And it's on a truly impressive upward path. It's expected to reach over $20 billion by 2025.
Copy.
And then, get this, projected to grow to an astonishing $28.8 billion by 2033.
28.8 billion.
Yeah.
That's huge growth.
It is, and this isn't just a fleeting trend, this sustained growth, they calculate a compound annual growth rate, or AGGR,
Right. This
of 4.65% from 2025 to 2073. That indicates really strong long-term confidence in this market. It reflects that global shift in consumer behavior we talked about, and probably also speaks to improving infrastructure and, rising disposable incomes, allowing more people to actually use these services.
Okay, with numbers like that, we really have to break this down. Where is all this growth happening globally? Let's look at which regions are really leading the suds and shines, so to speak. North America, for instance. The report says it currently leads the pack. Over $5.4 billion back in 2021, and projected to hit over $9 billion by 2033.
$9 billion.
Yeah. And the U.S. is clearly the heavyweight there, right? Tipping the lion's share.
Absolutely.
But Canada and Mexico also showing strong, consistent growth, even if it's on a smaller scale. So what makes North America such a dominant player here?
Well, North America's dominance makes a lot of sense when you think about it. The region has incredibly high rates of vehicle ownership, for one.
Right.
And that convenience culture is just so deeply ingrained. For many people there, a quick professional car wash is simply part of their regular vehicle maintenance routine.
Yeah, just another errand.
Exactly. So it's a very mature, very robust market. And that maturity means innovation in North America often revolves around things like efficiency, subscription models, maybe premium services,
Right.
all targeting convenience and an enhanced customer experience.
Okay, interesting. Now, let's hop across the Atlantic. Europe's car wash market also has some substantial figures. It was valued at over $4.5 billion in 2021, projected to grow to over $7.3 billion by 2033.
Still very significant numbers.
Definitely. And Germany, France, and the UK seem to be the larger European markets here, all showing solid growth, contributing quite a bit to those overall European numbers.
Hmm.
The report also mentions Italy, Russia, Spain, Sweden, Denmark, Switzerland, Luxembourg.
Yeah.
Quite a few contributors. What kind of diversity do we see within Europe? Does that influence the market there?
Oh, the diversity within Europe is fascinating, absolutely. While the core drivers, convenience and vehicle ownership still apply, you can definitely see how different cultural preferences or even things like urban planning might influence the exact market size or the growth rates across different countries.
How so?
Well, for example, some regions might really favor automated systems, perhaps because of land availability or labor costs,
Okay.
while other areas might still have a stronger preference for more personalized, maybe hand wash services. That leads to quite varied market dynamics across the continent.
Got it. So North America, Europe are big established markets. But the future growth, this is where it gets really interesting again, seems to be accelerating massively in Asia Pacific. This region was already substantial, $4.8 billion in 2021.
Yeah.
But it's expected to absolutely surge, reaching nearly $9 billion by 2033.
9 billion, yeah. Poised to become the largest market.
Exactly. When I first saw those projections, that kind of exponential growth, I mean, what precisely is fueling this incredible expansion in such a diverse region?
Yeah, if we connect this to the bigger picture, Asia-Pacific's rapid expansion is hugely significant. It largely reflects increasing disposable incomes and just a massive surge in car ownership, especially in the developing economies across the region.
Right, the rising middle class effect.
Precisely. As more people buy cars, the demand for professional maintenance services like car washes, it just naturally follows. China's the largest contributor here, set to hit almost $3 billion by 2033. But what's particularly noteworthy, I think, is India. It's showing incredibly strong growth. It's projected to more than double from around 750 million in 2021 to over 1.7 billion by 2033.
That's impressive growth for India.
It really is. And Japan also remains a major player, of course. It's just a clear indicator of broad economic development and, well, a rising middle class adopting new consumer habits.
It really paints a picture of rapid change.
Mm.
Okay, so beyond these, let's call them the big three regions, we do see significant growth stories unfolding elsewhere too. Let's quickly touch on those. South America, the market was over $1 billion in 2021, projected to reach over $1.8 billion by 2033. And Brazil seems to be the biggest player there.
Yes, Brazil is the largest contributor in South America, according to the report. Argentina, Colombia, Peru, Chile are also mentioned as significant.
Okay. Then the Middle East, that was over $435 million in 2021, forecasted to nearly double to over $866 million by 2033.
Doubling, yeah.
Saudi Arabia and the UAE are leading the charge there, it seems. Egypt, Turkey, Qatar also contributing.
Right. Strong growth projected there as well.
And finally, Africa, valued at over $485 million in 2021, projected to reach almost $900 million by 2033.
Nearly 900 million, okay.
And the report highlights South Africa and Nigeria as significant contributors on the continent.
So this kind of raises an important question, doesn't it? What common drivers might we be seeing across all these developing or emerging markets for car wash services, and how do they maybe differ from the more mature markets like North America?
Good question. What do you think?
Well, it seems like it's probably a combination of factors. Increasing urbanization, for one. Maybe people just have limited access to personal washing facilities at home in dense cities.
That's a really good point. My driveway is tiny.
Exactly. And then there's maybe the aspirational aspect, maintaining a new vehicle properly. That probably plays a role too. So while convenience is kind of universal, the underlying economic and social shifts are perhaps more foundational in these emerging regions compared to, say, North America, where the market's already well established.
So they're building the habit as well as the infrastructure.
Yeah, precisely. They're often building out the infrastructure and the consumer habits from a much lower base, which naturally leads to those higher percentage growth rates we're seeing.
Okay, so let's try and summarize our deep dive here. It's crystal clear. The global car wash market is, well, far from a small niche.
Not at all.
It's a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Yeah.
And it's not just growing, it's growing consistently and pretty significantly across the board.
Mm-hmm.
This expansion seems driven by these fundamental shifts in consumer behavior, that global demand for convenience, and the explosive rise in vehicle ownership, especially in developing economies.
That sums it up well.
So the next time you, the listener, see a car wash in your community, just remember, it's part of this much larger, really dynamic global industry. It does make you wonder, like you said, do people even have space to wash their cars at home anymore, especially in bustling cities?
Indeed. It raises a whole set of other thoughts, too, like given the increasing global awareness around water efficiency and eco-friendly practices,
Right.
how might innovation in car wash technology and service models continue to reshape this industry in the coming years?
Good point. What's next?
Exactly. And maybe what unexpected everyday services might be next to show similar explosive growth on a global scale. Could it be professional dog washing, on-demand laundry services?
The possibility.
Who knows?
Yeah.
It feels like this chore economy is really only just getting started. Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging into a corner of the economy you might think you know really well, but our sources reveal it's actually undergoing this quiet, kind of radical transformation. We're talking about the modern car wash market. You probably imagine it as, a simple service. A quick rinse, maybe a shine. But what we found is it's a really dynamic industry. It's buzzing with innovation, rapid growth, and honestly, some truly unexpected challenges. So our mission today is to unpack the key trends, the growth drivers, and yeah, the hurdles shaping this evolving industry. We're pulling out the most important nuggets of knowledge from the material you've shared with us. So what does this all really mean for the future of car care and maybe even, how our cities work? Let's jump in. Okay, so you might think, well, a dirty car is the only reason this industry is booming, but our sources point to something much bigger going on. What's the real story behind this surprising growth? Well, first off, it's not just about more cars on the road globally, though that's definitely part of it. We're seeing this widespread increase in privately owned vehicles, commercial ones too, in both developing and developed economies. More cars naturally equals a bigger basic need for car washes. Simple enough, right? But beyond just the sheer volume, there's this powerful urban lifestyle factor playing out. Yeah, in cities, people are increasingly looking for things that save time, are efficient, and, well, look good. Aesthetic-focused services. And this preference has really built a demand for automatic washes, touchless ones too, plus all those value-added services like detailing, ceramic coating, that kind of thing. And here's where it gets kind of unexpected. ZIPS Car Wash, for instance. They have this really fascinating car wash convos initiative. It's basically like content-driven entertainment right there in the wash bay. Features university athletes. I mean, who would have thought a car wash could be a mini media platform? It's a pretty novel branding move, mixing entertainment with the service.
It's a great example.
Yeah.
And we connect that to the bigger picture. Urbanization, coupled with rising disposable incomes. That's a really strong catalyst here. You've got metropolitan professionals, dual-income households. They're not just after a clean car anymore. They're increasingly seeking regular automated car care almost as a seamless part of their busy lives. And that fundamentally supports the demand for, subscription plans, unlimited washes, and those specialized service packages. And what's really notable is how operators are responding. They're strategically expanding, putting locations in high-traffic commercial spots, think malls, office districts, near big residential complexes. It basically integrates the car wash sector right into urban mobility patterns, makes it a convenient, almost unavoidable stop for busy city folks.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It becomes part of the routine. But it's not all smooth sailing, is it? Despite all that growth, the market faces some pretty significant restraints. So what are these obstacles, especially, for maybe new businesses trying to get in? Okay, the first big hurdle seems to be just the sheer scale of the initial investment needed. To launch a modern facility, you're talking about substantial capital for land, obviously, and then the advanced equipment, soft touch systems, those sophisticated water reclamation units, plus all the infrastructure for compliance. It's a lot. And it doesn't stop there, right? Then you have the ongoing costs, utilities, chemicals, labor, regular maintenance. It all just keeps adding to the financial burden. So, I mean, with that high barrier to entry, does that mean we're just going to see massive consolidation? Or is there still room for smaller, independent operators?
That's a really critical question. This capital-intensive model, it definitely acts as a major deterrent for small businesses. And it restricts how far they can expand geographically, particularly into semi-urban or rural areas where that kind of upfront cash is just harder to find. And beyond the money, another critical challenge is environmental regulations. These are pretty strict rules now. Water usage, chemical runoff, wastewater disposal. Businesses basically have to invest in things like closed-loop water recycling systems. They need biodegradable cleaning agents, compliant drainage. It's complex. And non-compliance, well, that can lead to heavy fines or even being forced to shut down. So it really increases the operational complexity and the cost, especially for independent operators. They might just lack the capital or maybe the technical know-how to handle all these environmental demands effectively. It really makes you wonder how smaller players can even compete.
Indeed. Yeah, it sounds tough. So, with all these forces swirling around, what does the future look like for car washes? How's the industry adapting? What are the key trends really reshaping the market right now?
Okay, let's look at the first big one. This widespread adoption of sustainable, eco-friendly tech. We're seeing operators embracing water-efficient nozzles, even waterless wash solutions sometimes. Green certifications are becoming a thing. It's not just about getting cars clean anymore, is it? It's about doing it responsibly.
It certainly is. And equipment providers are stepping up. They're offering modular water treatment units, smart monitors for resource usage, all designed to help facilities cut their water footprint and show they're compliant. And what's really intriguing here is how sustainability has shifted. It's actually become a competitive differentiator now. So centers with green certifications, they can build stronger brand loyalty. They can even get access to institutional clients or big fleets that have their own green mandates. It's turning into a real value proposition. That's fascinating. Okay, so the second big trend seems to be all about digitization and automation, especially in customer interactions. Businesses are integrating mobile apps, digital payments, license plate recognition, LPR online booking systems, loyalty programs. It's all about making the whole experience smoother, more seamless, right?
Precisely. And post-COVID, that preference for contactless transactions and, self-service options, it just became totally mainstream. Subscription models, like those unlimited monthly wash passes, they're getting really popular. And they're supported by apps that let you track things in real time, see your wash history, get exclusive offers, stuff like that. These tools, they don't just improve convenience for the customer. They also let operators gather valuable customer insights, improve retention rates, and scale their operations much more efficiently. They're kind of becoming these data-driven urban logistics hubs, almost as much as just cleaning services.
And yeah, the impact of COVID-19 really pushed these digital trends forward, didn't it? I remember a lot of people avoiding manual washes because of hygiene concerns. They shifted hard towards touchless and automatic options. It felt like it changed overnight.
It really did. And the operators who adapted quickly, with sanitized interiors, drive-through only models, totally contactless service protocols, they didn't just survive the lockdowns, they actually built long-term customer trust. The pandemic sort of stress-tested the whole thing and highlighted how resilient these tech-enabled car wash models are. And it definitely accelerated investments into things like cloud-based POS systems, that's point of sale, their checkout software and CRM integrations for managing customer relationships. That spread right across the industry.
Right.
Okay, finally, let's just briefly touch on the competitive landscape.
Yeah.
Who are the big players in this rapidly evolving space? How are they handling it all?
We're seeing a mix, right? Regional chains and big national operators. Our sources identified some key players. Zia Masia Car Wash, Mr. Car Wash, Splash Car Wash, Quick Quack Car Wash, and the International Car Wash Group, ICW.
Yeah, those are some of the big names. And they are definitely employing aggressive expansion strategies. Lots of acquisitions, franchising, pushing into new geographic areas. But it raises an important question. What are they doing beyond just raw growth? Well, they're also investing heavily in strategic brand partnerships, much more sophisticated digital customer engagement. And coming back to our earlier point, comprehensive sustainability programs, all to strengthen their market positions. It really reflects this growing sophistication and consolidation trend, especially you see it prominently in North America and Western Europe. They're becoming truly modern, quite diversified service providers.
So there you have it. What might seem like a pretty mundane service, just cleaning cars, is actually a really dynamic industry driven by advanced technology, changing consumer behavior, and this increasing environmental consciousness. It's really transforming from just simple cleaning into this high-tech integrated urban service. Quite something.
Absolutely. This deep dive into car washes, I think, perfectly illustrates how these seemingly ordinary everyday services are undergoing really significant, often unseen transformations. It kind of encourages us all to look a bit closer at the businesses we interact with daily and maybe consider the unseen forces, tech, sustainability, convenience that are shaping them.
Yeah, definitely food for thought. So as you go about your day, maybe think about this. What other everyday services around you are silently undergoing a similar kind of revolution? Tech-driven, sustainability-focused, convenience-led that you might not have even noticed.
Oh.
And what does that mean for future innovations and how services get delivered? Something to mull over.